Yo, I love that music. Sometimes you just gotta rock out to the beat. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the TWG Fan Club. Brian H. Waters, it's Justin Rich here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I am just in place of today, Miss Queen P.R. She's recovering from going to Bosstown. Which before we get into the show, I have to ask my brother. I purposely didn't ask him about it because I wanted to hear what he had to say.
Oh, about
Bosstown.
So
thank you.
My bad.
Hey, there he goes. I was like, man, he sound like he in the bathroom. What's going on?
Oh yeah, it was coming from the camera mic, but yeah, we're gonna get into that, but make sure before we do that, make sure y'all check out those wrestling girls. Subscribe on YouTube. It's that simple. Subscribe if this is your first time watching on Twitter. Hit the follow button, but also I invite you to go to the YouTube channel, go to Apple and Spotify, go to both of them. Most of us use both. So go to both of them, subscribe, rate the show, 5 stars only, and then put something in the comments, something nice about Queen PR, something nice about CRISTA B. Then I want you to go to YouTube, hit the button. I want you to subscribe, and I also want you to check out the latest episode of Wrestling WWE Meets Pop Culture. Queen PR talked about she talked about The Rock and his new skin care line. She also talked about unfortunately the split of CJ Perry and Miro. But she did show some photos from the wedding of Mike Ronallis and the one and only Miss Tenille Dashwood, as well as oh my gosh, Dominic Mysterio and his lovely wife. So there's so much on there. Make sure y'all check that out. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you leave a like. We might have some giveaways soon on here. But make sure you hit the like. Shout out to Black Thoughts in the building. He's called the Men's Club. Yeah, for right now, Seindole will be here soon. But last night, as I mentioned earlier, Queen PR, CRISTA B, they was in the building. Oh, so Pablo the Don. So Pablo's real. As I break down the fourth wall a little bit, we got to see them, and I was happy. Shout out to Four Sides of the Ring. I was happy when I saw that photo. Wanted to go to Boston, but it was not going to happen. Trying to go up there after work, get back in time because Boston's a little bit up there. And as I see my brother Matt jumping in, CEO. So enough of me. I've been waiting for this for almost 24 hours, but I knew we was going to do something. I knew I was going to have the time. My brother, Justin Rich, I purposely didn't ask you in the chat. I purposely didn't look at too many of your tweets because I want to know before we get started with WrestleMania interests, and we know the boss has had some incredible, so we know she's going to come up in the conversation. Hey, Rakarsha. I can't do it like Queen PR. But how do you feel?
I feel stupendous, first off. Like, the fact that you had so much of the crew and the fan base pull up to Boston on just the strength of a possibility that it might be Mercedes. Mind you, this woman has been very quiet Like, not putting shit out on social media, not putting shit out on her YouTube channel. She's been very incognito on anything that's going on with her since this injury. And then you find out today, because now she's been doing the press, how severe that injury was. Like, we almost didn't get a return, period. Like, this was going to be a career ender. Like, it wasn't a broken ankle, but she hasn't gone like into details on like what happened with that foot injury. But it was worse than a broken ankle, to where it's like when a doctor's saying you may have to hang it up, and she's got to fight him on that, and then her proving to be a miracle, that's just a blessing in disguise. So
Amen.
going into last night, there was just like so much incitement. You know, AEW's been in a good spot ever since Revolution, and coming off of that, like they've been rolling, especially when you add in Ospreay and Okada and whatnot. So now you get her debut. And at first I was like, yo, what is this music? Because it felt like a hybrid of like Gunther's old music with the symphony and then the CEO stuff. So I was like, could it be we're actually going to start with her? And then all of a sudden you get the reveal on the graphics, and she came out looking like a fucking $1 million. You go from having her pull up in a Maybach, but we're going to cut before you actually see her, to that entrance. Man, it was just heartwarming, because it's like, you know, that's someone that I've considered the GOAT. I think she is the best women's wrestler on the planet. I know some are going to say Charlotte Flair. Others will probably say Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair or any other ones. For me, it's Mercedes. Kind of not close when you really think about it. But at the same time, that's a debate for another day. We're going to live in the moment. And that's what we were doing, where we were just appreciating her. Because this had been, damn, that New Japan show felt like, what, May? So this is almost 9-10 months. It
feels longer than that.
It really feels like she was gone for an entire year.
And May was the month, right, that she walked out.
Yeah, May was the month that she walked out, and then May is when she got the injury. So it's like, damn, we really haven't seen you in damn near a year. And then she gets that hometown pop, so you could tell like the emotions were just running wild with her. And it's just, I was just delighted just to see her, because it's like the world is better to have her in wrestling and doing what she loves best, because we know that how much that she loves wrestling, and she has a fan base that, I know people have their feelings about the crew, but like they fucking go all out for her. They will travel, as you saw last night. People flew from all over the world just to go watch her in AEW. And again, this wasn't a guarantee. AEW didn't promote this. Tony Khan didn't like heavy-handed alluded to it. It was just there's a possibility she might be there.
Well, people, go ahead.
And people pulled the fuck up. Like, you're talking about from London and China and other places in Europe, Mexico, around the country. It's like, bro, I don't know how many wrestlers have that type of aura that can get their fan base to pull up in droves like that. But what are you going to say real quick?
I was going to say, the thing is, sometimes you do wonder, and is there a missed opportunity when you don't promote? But again, if you have that aura, and people not stupid, the best thing is like, you think about when Chris Jericho came to WWE, right? And there was the whole Y2J signs around, you know what I mean? And then there was people who was grabbing something to write, or even when like Ultimate Warrior, people started grabbing stuff. But you hear like these hearsay, she say rumors back then, and even Jericho said, he was like, man, I was wondering how did people even, because it wasn't like the dirt sheets was as prominent, but it was parts like, man, it would be nice if they promoted it. But again, when you put the little subtle stuff there, it is cool. It was one of those things where it was like, at this point it was obvious, but it doesn't take away from the moment. And I think that's the part that's key. You know what I mean? Her and CM Punk was the same way. We knew, worst kept secret. Tony Khan was it was probably worse then, because if you remember that morning, he was going on doing like radio shows and stuff. It was like, all I'm gonna say is I don't want to disappoint the fans. And then there was he booked the United Center versus the Allstate Arena, which is more expensive. I remember not Twitter Spaces. Maybe it was Spaces already, but I feel like it was Clubhouse. Everybody was talking about the excitement. And when you think about it, it's like, wait a minute, he might be here. But either way, I thought it was good. I would definitely, before we get into our WrestleMania talk, definitely wanted to hear your thoughts. I see Matt said AEW got the big three: Ospreay, Okada, and Mercedes.
That's kind of AEW's thing where they like doing things in threes. Like someone put it out perfect where it was what the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes, and then you think back to what was it? Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. I forget who the third person was that pulled up around that time. Was it Christian? It might have been Christian, but then like you see here with Ospreay, Okada, and Mercedes, like they like doing these big signings in threes. So that's kind of where it is. I would call it a big three because like Ospreay could be the face of your franchise, especially when you don't know what's going to happen with Kenny Omega. Okada, same thing. And Mercedes completely game changes your women's division. I know people have been saying, is she really going to be that much a big difference in that women's division? It's like, yes, because you've never had anyone of this talent. No disrespect to Britt, no disrespect to Athena, no disrespect to Saraya and Ruby Riott, Deonna Purrazzo. No one pulls this. Like the only other people that can really pull this like first debut and this type of level of excitement are people that come from WWE. Like if this was Charlotte that came over, maybe Becky or Becky would, maybe Bianca too at this point. I mean, and that's really it at the moment.
And at the end of the day, right? It's the wrestlers don't have tribalism. It's all about getting the biggest bag you can get, the best opportunities, do what you want to do, and you know, trade him. Hey, you go over there for a little bit, come back. I mean, what she told, shout out to Evan Mack, she told him that, you know, she'll be back and we'll be happy. But if this can help other women learn, this can help women's wrestling, the business of women's wrestling, I'm all for it. Of course, I want to see her in WWE. Of course, I want to see her have a WrestleMania moment. But if I'm going to get an opportunity to see her do some cool things, and more importantly, if this is what she want to do, who am I? You know. But
yeah, and look at it like this. Like with AEW, it's a clean slate. Like, of course, everyone wanted her back in WWE, but she's basically wrestled everyone at some point. So it's like there's not really much things that she needs to check off of that WWE box other than a WrestleMania moment, win the Royal Rumble, or win Money in the Bank, or maybe a proper feud with Bianca Belair. Otherwise, she's basically done everything else. Whereas with AEW, she has fresh new talent. The majority of them she's never worked before. AEW has a much lighter schedule than WWE, so she probably only wrestles once a week, which is very good coming off of a very severe ankle injury. And then because she's not working as much compared to WWE, that also opens up the opportunities even more for Hollywood, because you saw her in Mandalorian, and she said during that Evan Mack interview, she has other projects she can't talk about. So she's also working outside of wrestling at the same time, but it allows her that better work-life balance than you and I know. These WWE talent, they work hard, especially at this time of year where you're coming into Mania. There ain't no day off because you're doing something.
Well, before we get out of this and go into WrestleMania, I got to ask you one last question. Shoot. Biggest AEW signing ever?
To be determined. I think right now, the biggest signing that they've done is still Bryan Danielson because of what he's meant to that company, especially where you think of, you know, Kenny's injuries, the Bucks kind of falling in and out of the tag title picture, Cody leaving, you know, everything with Punk, the injuries, how many times Punk and Moxley have basically had to get that title and drop that title. And Bryan's kind of been like as advertised and then some, and even like a humongous anchor for AEW when they've really needed it. So I think Mercedes is going to be to be determined, and that's going to be basically on Tony Khan, because we know how Tony Khan kind of feels about that women's division, how he's booked that division, how they've treated that division. In one night, you got the women opening and closing the show. I don't remember the last time they've done that on Dynamite, period. Now, there's still work to be done in that women's division, but now you have the talent and now you have a franchise player in Mercedes where it's like, there ain't no excuses, Tony. You got the horses. Either you're going to put your money where your mouth is and put big business behind it, or you really don't give a shit about women's wrestling. They're just here just to satisfy a certain fan base, but not really like a top priority.
Well, we're going to find out. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about WrestleMania interests. So what I want everybody to do, throw in the chat or tweet us at T Wrestling Girls, tweet at Brian H. Woods, tweet at It's Justin Rich, at Queen PR, at Relive Via Film, because get them involved in the conversation on social. Just because they ain't here don't mean they can't be in it. Tweet us some of your favorite WrestleMania entrances. You know, when you think back, some ones that, you know, give you chills, some that you look forward to, So we're gonna talk about them, but we'll be back. But I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, Queen PR does WWE meets pop culture. If you've never seen it before, here's a preview.
Michael Buffer, the legendary ring announcer whose voice I feel like I've been listening to my entire life, praised Samantha Irvin on Twitter after discovering a video of her on, I forgot one of the reality shows that she was on, and she played the flute and sang beautifully. And he tweeted, "Wow, first time seeing this. Samantha Irvin, who always kills it as the ring announcer for WWE, is a dynamic musical talent with voice and performance presence. Definitely need to have her do the national anthem at WrestleMania. Let's get ready to rumble." This is huge. And Samantha Irvin tweeted, "Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Michael Buffer." Imagine, imagine one of the best in what you do discovers your old work and praises that and also the work that you're currently doing that he's done before. Like, she is officially goated. Samantha Irvin, you are killing the game. Congratulations on this accolade and just all of your success. This is literally just the beginning. So shout out to you, girl.
So funny. I'm watching that clip, right?
Mhm.
And I told you I got WrestleMania 8 on, and it's the main event because I was watching it last night during the run, so I'm running it. And you remember Sid Justice's promo?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hulk Hogan, you are not you are not." So when she said, "Samantha Irvin, you are killing it," it was like a totally different dynamic, but it made me think of that promo.
Funny shit. I love Sid Justice's that theme that he comes out to. That shit hits. It's like, yo. Like,
But I like
that's a Jim
Psycho
Johnson
Sid theme.
special. It's like salute, because god damn, that's like some early 90s heavy metal rock shit. That's like, that really takes me back. That's a time capsule theme.
Heck yeah. So Matt already shared his favorite WrestleMania interest, the Terminator, Triple H, WrestleMania 31. Or some people call it WrestleMania play button.
Do
Justin, do you have what's the interest that stands out when you think about WrestleMania interests?
Ooh. All right, so if we're gonna go like standout WrestleMania entrances, the first one that's gonna come immediately to mind is WrestleMania 30, The Undertaker, where you have, was it the ghouls or whatever, but then they have the caskets laid out of everyone that he's beaten. And there's just like, the little ominous music before the gong hits and he comes out. That's just like, bro. And remember, this is still like the streak was still the streak. So it was an even bigger deal. But to get back into wrestling and watch that, and then you just see the caskets of like, oh, they got everyone's name on there. Like, yeah, I killed him. Remember this guy? Yeah, I beat Triple H 3 times, so there's 3 caskets. It's like, bro, that was so well thought and well executed.
Man, yeah, you took it back. I'm gonna go way back. WrestleMania 6, Rhythm and Blues, the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine with Jimmy Hart coming on the pink Cadillac. Like, when I think about WrestleMania entrances, I always think about that one being like one of the first notable ones that people talk about, because you always saw, like, back in the 80s, you saw the car, right? The cart. And I think we was talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, it was like maybe the cart not being on a video game or something, but Hogan didn't go on the cart, or shoot, Warrior didn't either. I think Hogan actually rolled back on the cart after WrestleMania 6, though. I feel like
I know Warrior sprinted that shit.
Yeah.
At 6.
Yeah, but the cart was something, man. But you remember who's driving that car, right?
Not off the top of my head, refresh my memory.
DDP.
Wow,
WrestleMania
really?
6. Yeah, that was like the big thing everybody talked about. Because DDP got in the wrestling business at the age of 35, and they were saying, how he was able to have a successful career. And I think Batista may have got in post 30 also, or at least late 20s. But yeah, DDP was the one driving the car.
That is crazy. Now I gotta go back and watch WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, and it's like that hidden gem, right? Kind of like with CM Punk at John Cena's entrance at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. It's when he was in OVW, I think. You know, and
Or
we
like
saw.
Charlotte, Sasha, and Alexa doing Triple H's entrance at WrestleMania 30 before
Mhm.
NXT really became a bigger thing.
Yeah, facts. I remember, and when that happened, we knew who they were. Like you said, NXT. We may have been coming out of the FC. We may have been fresher out of FCW, if I'm not mistaken. Like FCW may have been a thing. Like it may have been like 2 years removed,
Mm-hmm.
and because they wasn't even like wrestling. They were still developing, right?
I believe so, because I don't think they count as like the FCW crew. They're more like that first NXT
Okay.
crop,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I remember people going crazy on the internet about it because obviously Charlotte being Ric Flair's daughter. You know what? Now I think about it, Alexa may have been the one who was already on TV at the time, as far as NXT TV on Hulu.
Hmm.
She may have be the one that everybody like kind of knew, but you had to be like a sort of a diehard fan to know, like, oh, that's Sasha Banks, who was Mercedes KV, that's
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair, But I thought that was incredible. It's always something fun to go back and look at. I mean, you could do a whole show on Triple H's entrances alone.
I
You go back
mean,
to
let me put
the
that in the notes.
WrestleMania 15. No, excuse me, WrestleMania 14 DX coming out with the band. WrestleMania 17 Motorhead. It was. I'm almost want to say 17, 18, maybe 20. It almost felt like every year he was going to have a band, and it was probably once they hit that stride where, except maybe like WrestleMania 26 with Sheamus or something. But it was like
Mhm.
he was definitely going to have an entrance where you was going to remember who he was, or you was going to remember what he did. And the Terminator one, I may have to agree, that might be my favorite Triple H entrance.
I like that one. It's very
Mhm.
unique. It's very different. Honestly, when you get Arnold Schwarzenegger and you bring back the Terminator gimmick, that's always going to be a pop.
Wasn't that movie about to come out then?
Yeah, which is why they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. My only thing with that, and I think the biggest gripe with that Mania is the location of it. That would have probably hit different if that was nighttime. If it's darker and you have that,
Oh,
I think it hits different.
I didn't think about that.
But because they're in Santa Clara and the shit didn't get dark until like the main event, it's like, because even Taker's main entrance kind of like, this would hit different. Sting's entrance was like, damn, this would have hit different at night. Bray's entrance, same shit. And then,
Yo,
but that Triple H
I
one is perfect. But then if you had that at night,
I,
and then you could
I
have had the
always
fucking Target going all over,
the arena
was it
or the stadium.
Levi Stadium or whatever the fuck they call it? Like that would have been so dope, but that was at night versus like, damn, that's a daytime entrance though. Ugh.
It's
But
funny
it's still dope.
because when you think about WrestleMania 31, you always think about the Undertaker. You always think about Bray. You never
Mhm.
and I never thought about Triple H and Sting. And damn, like, because you figure the sun didn't set until literally Rollins cashed in. Like,
Yeah, it's literally
because
after Roman and Lesnar get in the ring, then the sun, then it's like it's dark enough to where like, all right, now these entrances will really hit. But it's like, yeah, that was like a real daytime mania. It was almost like, what was it, WrestleMania 9? It felt like that.
yeah. Yeah. And see, that's the first WrestleMania. Like, obviously, I talk a lot about WrestleMania 9. I know it like the back of my hand because it was like one of my tapes that I had. And
Mhm.
it's funny, I was having this conversation with my daughter last night about we had to go to Blockbuster. And she was like, wait, I said, so like, I was explaining to her about like reason why I was letting her stay up to see Mercedes. And I said, back in the day, like, after a while, I had to ask Uncle Hugh when I went to school what happened on Raw because we didn't have cable. Her question was,
Mhm.
what's that? And I was like, Xfinity. I was like, we didn't have it. And, so WrestleMania 9 was one that I kept watching over and over again once we got rid of cable. So, but now I want to stick right there with WrestleMania entrances because everything you said is the reason why when I go back and look at WrestleMania 33, it felt like Naomi's match was held towards the end. It was almost as if they learned their lesson
Mm-hmm.
because the glow and this is home for her now. It was rushed. That was probably the first time I remember that being we getting out of the stadium at like 12:07, and I was like, wow, we was there a long time. Like I didn't feel that way at 28, but when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, they learned their lesson from WrestleMania 31. Was you watch? You was watching by WrestleMania 31, right?
Oh yeah, like I said, I came back WrestleMania 30. So from WrestleMania 30
Okay.
on, I'm watching.
So did you
but
feel?
before 30, it was like, you got homework to do, Jay. You got catching up.
Did you feel that they were pushing WrestleMania? They were doing that Rock and Ronda segment. They was trying to like kind of delay it. I remember a lot of internet chatter being at the time that they were kind of like trying to delay it, waiting for the sun to come down for the Undertaker.
I think that's part of it. And it's also like when you look at that WrestleMania 31 card, it's really lean. That was at a time where not everyone got on the card. So it's a lean card. You have time, you have space. You can do these segments with Triple H and Stephanie and Rock and Ronda. And I think that part of that could be because of Undertaker, but then part of that could also be because they were teasing Rock coming back in wrestling. They were teasing Ronda coming to WWE because Ronda kind of made it known like, at some point I want to be in WWE. Her favorite wrestler was Roddy Piper and stuff like that. And Ronda was the hottest person on the planet as far as sports and entertainment for the women. So it made a lot of sense, but it could also be because like, yeah, we kind of got to delay it because Undertaker, that's just where, the logistics of, you don't think about that when you lock down these WrestleMania locations and their time where it's like, yeah, the entrances really mean a lot to, especially certain talents. Like their synopsis with their entrances, and you kind of, once you kind of fuck with that, it makes it different or doesn't hit the same. So with WrestleMania 33, I know Naomi's was just fantastic, but I know that was a much longer card because at that point, the fans have been very vocal about not everyone getting on the WrestleMania card. And then you have Total Divas and these other shows where you hear the displeasure of the talent. Whereas like I worked all year to get on Mania and I'm not on Mania. Like I didn't make the cut because we're not popping. And fans took that really to heart and got on Mr. Redacted's ass and been like, yo, you're the guy in charge. Change this shit. Like, give us more matches. And he's like, okay. So WrestleMania 33 is one of those. It's like, yeah, that's what, like a dozen matches on that card?
Man, look, it was a long night. Remember 3 pre-show matches that didn't make the DVD? That was a big deal.
I
And the
feel your
pre-show
pain when you say long matches because I went to 34 and 35 and they were longer than 33. Like 34 from start to end, from the first match to the end, 34 was like 7 hours, and then 35 was like 7.5.
This would be your 4th WrestleMania?
This will be my 4th, my second going for the 2 nights.
Okay, yeah. That 2 nights entrances. We can touch on this a little bit. We got to hit a Cody song twice. Do you think there'll be some sort of interruption during one of them, and or do you think there'll be a presentation? Like, all right. So, like brother Brandon says, if you hear, you gotta. If he knew Cody was losing last year because we didn't see Kingdom or Down Straight, right? Perform live. Do you think he has the band for one of those nights?
50-50. Now, I'm not a big, like, if the band doesn't come out, then they're losing because
Likewise, I'm not either.
For a long time, it actually used to be the opposite. Like, if the band played you out, they were losing. Like, I remember Limp Bizkit played Dudley Boys out for WrestleMania 18. I was like, fuck, they're not winning. There was like a streak where it's like, if someone played you out, you were taking an L. So that actually might not be a bad thing. I think for this WrestleMania, because it's WrestleMania 40 and the location, I'm not 100% confident, but I'm really confident. I think we're going to get a video package, Rocky style. Maybe you get Sylvester Stallone. It's going to be the Rocky Balboa. It's the same story. Rocky loses, Rocky won, has to fight his way back to Apollo and fight his way back to the title, make Adrian proud, get her out of that coma, and then he finally overcomes in Rocky 2. You might get something similar at this year's WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes.
I love Roman's interest last year.
That was
Like,
I still go back and watch that because that's just 10 minutes of just like, bro.
what's some of them that give you chills? Like for me, obviously, both of Bianca's big interests. The one with the little girls, because, and then especially what we would learn that night.
Yeah.
But the HBCU band, you was there. I got the moment in my phone
Same.
as somebody who went to Morgan State University. But not only did I go to a HBCU, I also went to a high school that, when I was there, had a very good band that competed with HBCUs. Like, you could have, in 1999, 2000, 2001, before there was a scandal, you could have put my high school band up against any HBCU and they would have held their own, because they were so, like, when Drumline came out, and I did band camp one day. I quit. But with like that one give me chills. What are some interests when even if you go back now and you look at which one give you chills?
Chills. Ooh. All right. So off the top of my head, I'm going back to WrestleMania 30, but I'm going to Braze. I love the little fire entrances stuff. I always love the little dun, dun, dun. New Orleans, we're here. And then you actually have the band playing him out, but it's pitch dark and people doing the fireflies. He's got, Harper and Roman on his flank coming out with the chair and the lanterns. That's just one that's just like, oh man,
He
I wish I was there
prophesied
for
that
that.
in like
God
one of his
damn.
promos. Got 30,000 or 60,000 people screaming my name, pulling their phones out.
So that one brings me chills because then I immediately from there go to 33 where he's champion and he walks out and it's the whole place is lit up with fireflies. So shout out to WE. One thing they do very good is capture fucking moments. They do a pan out of the stadium and it's just 8,000 fireflies. And it's just like, you put those back to back. That's like, God damn. Like, that's where you go, yeah, WB is really, really good at this big moment shit compared to any other company. It's not even close because they could land this plane and they haven't even touched yet. He hasn't even got to the ring. It's just the entrance. It's just like, yeah, I'm fucking stoked. This is just unreal.
Even like last year, Lil Uzi Vert. I'm not like, I don't like follow his music by any means, but seeing a little kid who was in front of us just dance and have the time of his life, and watching him. It's funny, Warrior just came out. You remember the infamous spot at WrestleMania 8? But like all of that, man, and just seeing, them come out with the Usos, as we get ready to welcome Seindole. Those moments that get you hyped up for the match. Seindole, welcome. She made it.
I just had the most traumatic 45 minutes of my life. My apologies, y'all.
It's okay.
I'm late.
Good.
Thank you. What's this out here? We talking about wrestling entrances.
WrestleMania ones, Ricard's just said that Bianca's, she loved all of Bianca's WrestleMania entrances. What's the WrestleMania interest that give you chills? Like Justin brought up Bray Wyatt's and the Fireflies and then WrestleMania 30, was it 33 you said?
So 30 where he has the band play him out and he's coming out with Rowan and Harper, and then you watch 33 after that where it's him as champion, but you have the 80,000 plus going with the Fireflies. Those back to back is just like, God damn it. Incredible.
Ones that gave me chills. Does it have to be one that was live, or does it have to be one that I just watched?
Either or. Yeah.
So, well, my first live one was New York. So the one where, with Undertaker, where he was going up against CM Punk. Love CM Punk's because he had Living Color live, which is the homage to me. Because if you were a black kid who appreciated rock music, you know who Living Color is. It wasn't just CM Punk's theme song at the time to me. It was like, holy shit, he got a black alt rock band that's basically one of the most iconics of all time playing his music to come out. But then you follow that up with The Undertaker literally having stacked coffins of all the people he laid to rest, aka his former opponents, And then CM Punk's is like one of the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
That one is memorable to me. That and the one where he had like he walked out and he had like the hands yearning like they were coming out of hell. Or like they were souls that were yearning to touch him. I like those.
Yeah, was that 29 or 25
25.
with the hands?
25.
Yeah, because that was the story with him and Shawn
That was the
Michaels.
first Shawn, yeah.
Yeah, and it was so cool about that was they really they really played it like heaven versus hell and hell won. But you because Shawn Michaels coming down from the top, right? And then you had Undertaker coming from the bottom. And so when Bayley and Sasha went up against each other in the Hell in the Cell, I said, "Oh, this Taker and Shawn again," because one had on all black, one had on all white, and that's why that's one of the reasons why it's my favorite match between them two. Seindole, you brought up being there. I want to ask you, and Justin, I want to ask you about some interests, especially the chills you get. Do you get them again when you get to see how it play on television? Because you see it, or did you not get chills in person, but you got them on television? So, like, compare and contrast watching it versus, watching it versus being there, or going back and watching the replay.
I'll let you go first, Seindole.
Well, you're talking about you know what? Watching it on TV is more reminiscent after you've been there live in person, if that makes any sense. Like after being there, I was just like, oh, this is all the stuff they talk about, like the pageantry and like the magic of it all. That like that stuff resonates with you because you were there. But then when you watch it back and you're seeing different angles of it, you're like, oh yeah, but like, okay, I remember that part. I'm like, wait, I didn't even know that was going on, blah blah, or I didn't like it's kind of like oh, that was really cool. And then you kind of get the chills again, depending on what it is. So it's more reminiscent, in my opinion, watching it after you've been there. But I get what you're saying. Like I get the question, but for me, it's more like the opposite. Like it's definitely like oh, that was such a cool time, as opposed to like me being there and Undertaker finally coming out, because I've never seen the Undertaker come out in that type of entrance. Everything is either like dumbed down for TV or it's not WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to go immediately to Undertaker's entrance at WrestleMania 34, because that was at a time where, Taker had that bad match at 33. He was on his last legs. People were telling him to hang it up. And I was praying, like, let me get one. If this is going to be my first WrestleMania, 34 is going to be my first one out of 10. Let me get this one. And then after that, you can retire, do whatever the fuck. But I need this entrance, especially where you go back to, I started watching in 91. That's WrestleMania 7. That's the beginning of the streak. And then WrestleMania 30, when I come back, that's the ending of the streak and everything. So Undertaker's kind of been synopsis when I started watching. So for him to come out in 34 and to get that entrance and to feel that in person, and especially as a Superdome, so it's even louder because of the dome. Like I have this video and I love going back to this because I let out a scream that captures it pretty good on video, but I let everything in my fucking body go out when he comes out. I was like, yeah. And I let my soul just, here, take my soul. I finally get to watch a fucking Undertaker WrestleMania entrance in person from like the Projects of the Bronx, where I'm watching this for the first time. Now I get to see this guy in person doing a WrestleMania entrance. I lost my absolute shit. And then I'm going back and watch this match. I don't care if the match is 5 minutes. It's perfect because Undertaker plays the hits and he looks fantastic. But that entrance is just like, thank you, God. This is what I really wanted. Like,
give me what I want.
Fuck the merch. Fuck whoever wins or loses. I wanted this moment. You gave me this.
Yeah, man. I always like going back and watching, like Roman's last year, hearing the pianos and then watching, him, stand up. The Rock, Hollywood Rock against Stone Cold Steve Austin, especially when the story built on Act 1, Act 2. It didn't matter. That's what Hollywood taught me and all this stuff. And, it's just like, whoa. But I tell you, one entrance that I always love, Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 35. The promo package of her arriving on a plane It was like
Yeah.
no matter what, she
got a
is
fucking
the
copter
She had
to lay
a
right
chopper.
outside Medley.
She
I was
said,
like,
"Get the
"Oh,
chopper."
she got the chopper."
yeah, and you know we all knew like that was Becky's night. Like who didn't see that?
Mhm.
But you know her coming in, she was a champion, and she
Mhm.
went in and entered the arena like a champion. You know, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
It was dope. It would have been better if the damn stage wasn't a fucking flat screen. Like, bro, you gave us this bomb ass stadium stage set for 33 with the
Mhm.
roller coasters. You have a bomb ass stage set for
Mhm.
34 with the Mardi Gras theme. Then you gave us a fucking flat screen. Like, bro, I walked into MetLife, saw that, and I was pissed because you know,
I
like
could imagine like it looked
was-
weird on camera. I'm not gonna lie.
and
Uh-huh.
then what made it
It,
worse was like,
it was giving
okay,
low budget.
like they started making it a big deal with these stage reveals. Like they had the New Day reveal the 33 set. You had the
Mhm.
women reveal the 34 set. They didn't do one for 35. So I was like, uh-oh, is this bad that we didn't get it like a stage reveal? And then I got in there and I had to tone it down because where my section was, they were doing the pre-show for WWE. Like they actually had Rosenberg
Okay.
and Paige.
Mhm.
So I couldn't curse. I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this
Yeah.
stage? I was pissed.
It was
Let me
giving
ask y'all about
budget.
that.
It was giving budget for something that was in New York second time. I'm just throwing that out there. Like
Let
it was
me ask
cool. It
y'all
was
that.
still good, but it was giving budget.
When it comes to the stages, do you watch the reveals or
I do.
do you want to wait?
Absolutely. Yes.
I do.
Ooh,
Cause you know
I'm
what's
Yes.
funny?
different.
I didn't watch the review. I didn't start watching the reveals until remember that. So because it was my first WrestleMania going to. Remember when AJ Lee had like a whole diary of
Mhm.
like if you remember when it was WWE was like following her because she was back in her hometown and stuff like that, and she got to see it for the first time, and the way she made it sound was like, oh my god, oh this is so cool, and I'm like, damn it, they need to just reveal this shit once and for all. And then once they revealed the thing, and then they had the I'm coming home, I'm coming, and it looked just like New York, and it had like the Empire State Building. I was like, oh, this is so cool though. This is dope. Then I was like, can't nobody top that? Nah, New Orleans next year blew that shit out the water. I was waiting, like I was waiting. I was people on the internet, people were trying to leak it. I remember the Tumblr. Thank you for Tumblr that back then because they was trying to leak it and they thought they had leaked it, but it turned out it was a picture of one from 2 years ago, and it was just like it was built on excitement. So I remember what Justin is saying when they didn't leak that forward. I'm like, I don't even remember them announcing it really. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, what made 34 special was they waited until we were all there for Mania. I think it was that Thursday that they revealed it. And we were already on Bourbon Street. So when they revealed it and then they had the fireworks going off. So we're already getting turned up. Now you got fireworks going off. And they're like, what the fuck is that? And then you look, it's like, oh, they revealed the set. Oh, they revealed the set. And then you look at it, it's just like, and then but then like the video doesn't do it justice because in person, the fucking graphics of it is just it pops so much for just the regular stage, and then how it would change for everyone's entrance was just like, bro, this because I was like, I don't know how they top 33 with the fucking roller coasters. Like that was perfect. And then somehow 34 was just like, this is so amazing to look at in person. Like the
see-
videos and watch it back doesn't do it justice of if you
What
were
was
there and
34
you get to
again?
New Orleans
Orleans.
again.
Oh yeah, second time.
Let's see. And 33 was Orlando, where they had to do like they did before, was just kind of like find a stadium and make magic out of it. You know, because
Yeah.
not like it was not like you're going into a Superdome or even in Miami.
Yeah, you don't have an NFL team in Orlando.
Yeah, and the thing is, like for me, I don't like looking at it. It's like so, like 33. I remember shout out to Corey, me, him, and our buddy Glenn. We all went together, and they had went to Access that morning. It's funny, you know, today's the anniversary of the death of Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. He signed my belt, my Intercontinental belt.
Ooh.
Corey got the signature for me.
The one that's
but
over your shoulder?
yeah.
Other shoulder. Oh, John.
It's funny because I was actually going to post that. But yeah, you might get see it right there.
So Corey got that signed for you? Wow.
Well,
That's
I believe
clean
Glenn,
too.
'cause, you can only get one. So Glenn
Yeah.
got his, Corey got his Intercontinental sign. And so while I'm at the while I'm in the resort, right?
Mm-hmm.
They revealed the stage, and I'm like, nope, I don't want to see it because I'll be there soon. So I like, and you know, I probably got this from Corey because WrestleMania 28. So WrestleMania 28 is my first one, Miami, and by this time he had already did 3 of them, and so he was like coaching me, right? And he was like, "Bro, I avoid all leaks. I don't want to see anything." So that's why I was not trying to look at nothing. I'm like, "Nope, I'm not looking at any reveals." And even to this day, I'd rather not like. I was with back in Dallas. I was doing some, I was working, getting everything ready, and one of the people who worked there, they was like, "Yeah, we gotta go over to the stadium so we can get everything set because they're gonna be doing the big reveal on YouTube." And I'm like, I don't want to see it because I like when I walk in there,
You won't be
I want to,
surprised.
yeah, I like to take it in. Like P can tell you even last year, we walked into Hollywood and just seeing that interest because like most of the time I'll be there at least an hour before the show start, or at least within. So I'm just sitting there like looking at every single thing. And even 38, because the night one, we had the interview that was, Cody. We was there early. So I'm like in there while they like practicing because they was like, all right, I had to go drop my bag off my production equipment backstage. And I'm looking around and I'm just like, man, this is dope. Like I like that. It fit Dallas. I think I like that better than 32.
I like 32s, but yeah, 38 was better.
Yeah,
38 is much better.
And that's when Becky comes out there.
They just needed to raise that entrance just a little higher because I remember AJ cracking his head coming out to that because it was pointed for the entrance, but then if you came out at an angle was too low and AJ fucking went head first into it, Issa was right there and got the video of it.
Oh man, yeah, I ain't see that. I gotta see it, but looking at like the entrance wasn't. You talk about chills, right? Cody Rhodes that night. It's
my God.
Not because the entrance was ever so extravagant. It was the fact he returned, and and it's one of those things. Even if we all knew it, like when y'all remember around that time, people was guessing, saying could be Cody Rhodes, could be Shane McMahon. Who could be this opponent, right?
They hit Cody Rhodes very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
And for him to come out there, it's still like that's what I'm interested in. When you sitting up there, CM Punk, like, come on now, whoever's back there. I mean, not CM Punk, Seth Rollins. And then the thing goes up like
yeah, you said that it wasn't extravagant. I was about to say I disagree.
That was
all of a sudden you get the fireworks, then it goes black. Then we're all going crazy.
Then all you hear
Cody's
is wrestling. Then you hear wrestling has more than one family. As soon as I heard that shit from where I was sitting, my phone was like this. I was like, no fucking way.
Yes.
And all you see, they kept them give the gimmick, and then all you see is that fucking tattoo on the side of his neck, literally in an emblem around the stadium from the TV. I said, are you kidding me? I was probably one of the first best surprises of the new era that WWE had probably ever put out. Like, to be really honest, because for it to be him and the way they did it, like cinematically, was really good. Yeah, I give them credit for that 1000%.
And I was on the floor on the risers, so like that was one of the few times like everyone on the risers went like the floor went ape shit. Like you could feel it on the risers. Like, oh my God, it went deafening because we were just losing our fucking minds. Like, it's not only is it Cody, but they brought all the AEW trimmings.
Yeah.
It was like, nah.
And that's the music, and they did it better.
They did.
Because next year we go, whoa. Stupid shit.
I was telling him, Seindole, like, yo, for this year, I'm already I'm anticipating something with Rocky theme, Sylvester Stallone, since they're in Philly and since it's gonna be the second time he's going after Roman. Rocky 1 and Rocky 2.
Don't involve no damn kids, because when you lose, I don't want to hear not a goddamn word. I don't want to hear nobody crying. I don't want to see nobody clips.
I did put it out on.
Don't involve the babies.
I did put it on social media. Like, it would be cool if WWE was smart enough and put the money together. Have Cody reenact the Rocky 2 scene where he's running to the steps and you have the Wrestling Club run with him.
Man,
It's right
That's
there
gonna
on a
hurt,
platter.
but okay.
It's fucking boom. I just gave you $1 million idea. You're welcome, WWE.
and if
Literally
they
have
do
Cody
that, I'm
run
gonna
to the
be
steps.
I
pissed.
mean,
The
the
wrestling
fact
cup
that they
running
got
right behind.
Sylvester Stallone, the fact that they probably got Sylvester Stallone
And the
to
fact that
probably do
Cody
like
made it
the pull of
public.
Kevin Hart.
The fact that Cody made it public, he was funding the wrestling club to come to WrestleMania. It's like, boom, there you go.
Bro, no.
No,
No.
I love you, Justin. I'm not here for it because
No, because
if he
everything is
lose and
great.
he break the baby's heart, if he
No, he
break the
need to
baby's
lose.
heart, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm like,
Yeah.
to hell with you and your tattoo and your waist belt and all of this shit. You brought these babies out here, paid for their flight, bought all the damn popcorn, and you ain't even win. To hell with
They
you.
gotta
To hell
learn.
with you and your goddamn story.
They gonna learn
Everything
today.
no.
they gotta learn. Everything
No,
peaches
you
and
don't
cream.
hurt the babies.
Yeah,
You don't hurt the wrestling club. They already recovering from tricking in Mellow. They don't need to be heartbroken about nothing else. Okay, nothing else.
They'll see.
I'm tired.
They'll have 24 hours. They'll be all right.
Yeah, that exactly. You know, look. Look, my daughter got through Bianca losing in 12 seconds. She recovered. These kids are recovered. They can see
I got
Cody
over
losing.
Hogan fucking taking over the main event of WrestleMania 9 after Brett lost.
Oh god,
That was called rescuing.
Well, I got over Brett losing. I still haven't gotten over Hogan doing his shit. That's reason
You
number
said that was
976,000 why Hogan's not seeing heaven.
Yeah, because that meant Yokozuna was not going home with the title. So I was mad when Yoko went on, like, come on. But then Hulk Hogan came out and he saved the day.
I felt the opposite. I was like, what the fuck is this? In 10 seconds, you beat this man? Are you fucking kidding me? He got the champion for 10 seconds.
Remember who rung the bell?
Remember what?
Remember who rung the bell?
Who rung the bell?
Nobody.
Macho Man.
Ding,
oh
ding.
yeah,
because Macho was on commentary.
He was on commentary. That's he's like, wait a minute, look, ding, ding. Hogan, and then Jim Ross is going off. I mean, JR was great that night. His debut, WWE. You know, he said that people was hating, but Gorilla Monsoon put him over, solidified him, said you were taking my spot. You got this, man. What an incredible night, man. People be hating on WrestleMania 9.
I'm about to go back and give that another chance because
I might too.
The times that I remember is just like,
to.
Give me to the main event.
But I threw on WrestleMania 10 just to have, and there's Mr. Perfect coming out as the referee with Yoko and Lex. But
Perfect.
I love Mr. Perfect, but boy, he pissed me off this night. Because see, at this time, right, and this is the best part about watching wrestling as a child. You have your favorites, but then you just want all the bad guys to lose. So you want the bad guys to lose every match. So I wanted Mr.
I'm laughing because that's me.
Yeah, I wanted I wanted Lex Luger to beat Yokozuna, and then I wanted Brett to beat Yoko. Child logic, right? Because I don't like Yoko. He had the title too long. And then Mr. Perfect like gonna throw the disqualification. I'm like, you jerk! Like, what is wrong with you? So it was crazy.
Yeah, Brian. This is you.
Look,
I'm enjoying it, but it's you.
What they say about the kids? We love the kids. We love the kids.
We love the kids, but them kids. Sorry. Your story. I'm sorry. Leave the babies out of it, though. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
They gotta learn at some point. I mean, it's a rite of passage. If you're a wrestling fan, you gotta get your heart broken before you get to high school.
They have enough heartbreak. They now, as announced by Sports Illustrated, they gotta watch Mello and Trick fight each other, even though they don't both wore the goddamn hoodie. So the babies done surfed enough. They don't need stuff again. So leave them out of the vignettes.
Man, the only reason I'm cheesing like a Cheshire cat is because I've been asking for this match for months. If I'm going to Philly, you give me Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. You let that. It should main event. It probably won't main event. I don't care. Give me this fucking match. And thank you, wrestling gods. You have obliged us. I am thankful.
Shout out the Trick, man.
Yo, that in one fucking year, look where he's come. From like, why is he out here and
what's funny
fucking
too,
title match to now it's like, nah, he's got a main event.
Yo, the way he's coming out, he's talking about something. You can have a step stool with an afro with your short ass, and then he was like, "Bring your step stool so we can." I said, "That's a short joke." Like, and then I was like, "Yo, you know how crazy it is? He used to play. He used to play for Philly. He used to play for the Eagles, and he got released. And now look at it. Fast forward, he's about to have a wrestling match across from the place where they have WrestleMania that he used to call home. It's crazy. It's
See, look how things come full circle. And then after his match, he could pull up for night one. Because all we gotta do is walk across the damn street.
What?
You're right.
That's true.
That's exactly what
That's true.
Man, yo, Lex Luger.
But the only person that has been able to wow me,
man, they still don't believe in me. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Just like you could, I always look at like wrestlers doing their entrances, and you just look at Lex Luger. He's like shaking people's hand, like he don't want to do it. Like,
see, he needed to come out like fucking Sid Vicious. Who's the man? Who's the man? Who's the man? Got fucking right.
I know he does. But see, look, wrestling has more than one royal family, but the Rhodes ain't one of them. They got one WrestleMania main event. Look at this one.
How you gonna do Dusty in the afterlife?
This is WrestleMania season, baby. Like I said, I ain't gonna be a royal family with only 3 members. So. You know, they ain't the heart.
Fair.
I mean, I don't forgot the number, but it's lots of bloodline members that's main evented WrestleMania, and them entrances.
Listen, my theory is I said the bloodlines are the Blue Jays of the wrestling industry. Why? You think the Blue Jays are extinct? They ain't extinct. They fly and flock in random places and they come together. That family ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought you were talking about the baseball.
I ain't gonna call them roaches because I don't be insulting them. No, I ain't doing that. Y'all trying to get me killed? No. They are really they're really the royal family.
Right, but you know. Oh man,
it's them in the hearts. I mean, we're so used to the hearts.
I was gonna say, speaking of WrestleMania entrances and Lex Luger, his the year before at WrestleMania 9, which was a preview.
Remember that one? Which one?
Oh, the narcissist Lex Luger.
Oof. Ico Pro.
Nah, it was it was Bobby the Brain Heenan going crazy because he had the ladies out there. And he's like, him and Macho Man's like, and who? Hey, hold on, I'm about to throw it on the Tron. As soon as I get this this photo, I didn't anticipate talking about Lex Luger's interest.
The narcissist Lex Luger. Yeah, we're going back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I have to explain it to me because I don't know what y'all talking about.
Oh, you don't remember the narcissist when he first got to WWE? He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, was it WrestleMania 8?
No.
He comes in. Because
okay.
him and Heenan have a whole fucking segment at WrestleMania 8.
Okay.
And then Luger's rocking the Ico Pro. So WrestleMania 9 is like his first official Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it now. I just caught a visual.
When they was trying to make him a bodybuilder. They was trying to get the
bodybuilder, yeah.
Yep.
Because
Mr. Redacted love fucking bodybuilders.
I mean,
he ended up built like one. So
he ended up built like, I was gonna say, like, I don't think he just loved it. He just wanted to be one and wanted to be surrounded.
My trousers.
Listen, we already talked about people that would be WWE champion if he was still there. So we already know he likes people with muscles. Lift things up and put them down. Yeah, okay. I remember.
that
I
was
remember.
Like the narcissist.
The narcissist.
I like that name, the narcissist. That's a dope one.
Yeah, he was a heel, man, but they needed a baby face, and they wanted, they kind of wanted him to be Hogan. And that's the reason why. Because I remember, again, like watching the US Express. And it was like, who can body slam Yokozuna on the U.S. Trepid or something like that. It was like some boat.
Right.
And you didn't know, like, and I remember watching, I want to say it was Superstars or something, or maybe WWF Mania when they showed it. And they show all these people, these bodybuilders, these wrestlers, they couldn't slam Yokozuna. Then Lex Luger comes out there, and I'm like, I don't like him because he just, beat up Mr. Perfect, whatever. Then all of a sudden, okay, well, he body slams Yokozuna's chair, and that's how wrestling, those heel turn, face turns, what happens. Like, all right, one day I don't like you, but then you do something cool, and I like you now. And we was on the road to SummerSlam '93, but they said nope. But he had a spectacular entrance. Well, even at the beginning of WrestleMania 9, Bobby Heenan and Macho Man coming out on the because the world's largest toga party, and they came out on the camel, and then Bobby came backwards
out
on
backwards.
and Macho Man was on he was like being brought out like a king. He was kind of back to his Macho King days. He's like, I was supposed to have celestial versions. He was supposed to have the camel. What is going on? And he kept talking about it the whole night. And throughout the commentary, he's like, wrong again, camel breath.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have some homework after this fucking 5K. Go back and watch WrestleMania 9.
Look, man, WrestleMania 9 was great. It was great, man. But another, just thinking about interests, like I said, we talked about Undertaker. We talked about a lot of his just his with Kane the second time. And you remember how it was this whole thing on Kane had beat, he buried the Undertaker. We buried the American Badass, and then he came back. And I remember thinking when my boy said, yo, I better not see him come out on a bike. And he came back as the dead man, but then it was like Paul Bearer yelling, and then or even the first one when he had the whole Druids, and he came out to the music, and it was like a big fight feel. But for the Undertaker, he was coming through the fire, because he, like he said, sorry, he would go through the depths of hell to face his brother.
Undertaker's always had some amazing. I mean, he is Mr. WrestleMania, so it's like that match is always A1. I'm not counting.
Yeah, between him and John, I think
John Cena had the choir when he sang
he
"My
had the
Time
choir
against the Miz."
Yeah, against the Miz, he had the choir. He also had a bunch of John Cena's. When he went back for a moment, he went back to having Word Life, and they all walked down that straight line, looking just like him, black cap, jorts, black shirt, and they started doing this. Or the one, Detroit was born until he rolled in with that Ford and busted through the glass. I enjoyed that. Yeah. That one I enjoyed.
And we talked about Punk earlier.
When he drove into the, oh yeah. When Punk was in the car. Yeah, John Cena, when you could tell, and that was for me, that was the one where it kind of gave it away. If you had like a really high spectacle entrance, you were winning. But I think the only one that broke that was the one with the triple threat, to be quite honest, because they gave Sasha and Charlotte and all that Becky, just for Homegirl to take, give it to Becky. Wow. I was like, well, that's fucking. They had Snoop Dogg do what? Well, Snoop Dogg will do it anyway.
Oh yeah, just for Charlotte to retain.
Just for Charlotte to retain. I was like, damn.
It was like, well, we're retiring the Divas title. We need a new women's champion. You got to give Charlotte her WrestleMania moment. But it's like, man, you can still hear the fucking air go out of that room when Becky taps.
I love her, but she didn't need all that.
We did all this for Sasha, for Charlotte to retain. But then again, I live with that because then when we got Charlotte, it was Sasha later, I was thankful.
I know another interest that give me chills was the New Day welcoming back the Hardy Boys.
Oh my God! You talk about a fucking pop
of the century. I did
not see that coming.
So remember, I was watching it, and then all of a sudden, you hear their music, and I'm like, wait, is that really? I said, oh my God, look at Jeff, look at Matt. My brother comes downstairs, and he's like, yo, is that the Hardy Boys? I said, wait, you can hear that from upstairs? He was like, yeah, it's kind of like the Batman signal in the sky. Whenever you hear the Hardy Boys music, you know they're on TV. I started rolling. I was like, you did not call it the Batman. He's like, it's like the Batman single for the, he's like, because they for the, he was like, he came down, he looked at the TV, he's like, is that the Hardy Boys? He's like, I thought they stopped wrestling. I said, you can hear that from the attic. He was like, it's like the Batman signal. He was like, you know how I feel about the Hardy Boys. Come on. I was like, I'm dead.
And shout out to Matt and Jeff because they sold that shit hard. Because remember, the night before was Supercard of Honor. They main evented against the Young Bucks in a very physical fucking ladder match.
And then they rolled up.
And then like that morning, they did a signing for like people and shit like that. And then they took a picture of them getting on a plane or going to the airport. And then all of a sudden
Mhm.
they fucking boom. They're at WrestleMania like, wait, what the fuck? You motherfuckers really swerved us.
Bro, in the car, I remember saying to Corey and Glenn, y'all, the Hardy Boys just tweeted. No, CBS just reported that Jeff Hardy says the Hardy Boys signs a deal with Ring of Honor. Literally in the car on the way to whatever the name of the Orlando stadium was.
Camping World Stadium or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
yup. and I'm like, wow. Like what just happened, you know, and watching them come out, because I remember being upset. I was like, dang, man, but then, you know, they
And Ring
came
of
out.
Honor made sense because that was during their Expedition of Gold, where they were the Broken Hardys, and they had this gimmick that Matt really took off with the final deletion and everything.
Earlier
So
that
they were
month,
hot as fuck.
Yeah, earlier that month or the month before, they had beat the Hardys. I mean, there was Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor tag title.
Yeah, so they were running it back as Supercard. That match, yo, if you could pull up that match is fantastic. I don't know how the fuck they did that in WrestleMania back-to-back nights.
Yeah, I mean, them
Ouch.
Hardys. Yeah. Oh man. But let's take a quick break. And then we got some more interests, and you know, we're gonna do a Twitter check-in to see if anybody tweeted us. But we'll be right back after this.
The Rock discovered her based on the documentary about her family, and like her brothers wanted to be champions in WWE, and she was the one that was a star. And you can clearly see like Paige had something even at that young age, and that's why this episode is titled "The One and Only," because there's no one like Paige. So The Rock discovers her and was like, "I want to make a movie about you." Imagine having a biopic and you're not even like 25. Like that has to be like mind blowing.
Am I the only one who didn't get out? Trails. I'm trying to think of what else is cool while everybody comes back. Oh, hi. I'm trying to think of what other entrances were. No, it's cool. I'm trying to think of what other entrances were really cool though.
Well, Derek Lewis.
I mean, I always
shout out to Derek Lewis. He tweeted at he replied that the Warrior running out the ring, Hogan, still gives him chills. I tweeted, which entrances give you chills? Stephanie Hardy says it's always Bianca with Texas Southern. So those are a couple entrances, you know, that just gives people chills as they, you know, watch WrestleMania. You know, it's just it's so cool. Like I said, just being able to, you know, one is WrestleMania 27, and I wish WWE had the rights to the music still. When The Undertaker was using Johnny Cash, Ain't No Grave.
Oh my God, that one gives me chills. Yeah. And he used the old school, like, ain't no grave, can hold my body down. I was like, damn.
And even when and he lost,
and then somebody said his walk was extra slow.
It was. And then remember, he wins the match, was
extra slow.
But he's out. And they like trying to put him on the gurney, but you hear the music playing, man. And even with him coming out with the Vulture, I know bro, WrestleMania 9 again, but him coming out with the Vulture, the bird against the Giant Gonzalez. Now we all know that's everybody's favorite match to hate on, you know, but
for good reason.
I don't know why. Why?
Yeah, that's how I feel. You know.
Yeah. It's not a good match with Undertaker and Giant. Just look at Giant Gonzalez's fucking suit. Let's start there.
It was a thing. Just remembering that as a child.
Google this, Seindole. This was actually a thing.
Seeing this guy come up and beat the Undertaker up at the Royal Rumble. I wanted Undertaker to get his get back. And it was like, wait, this guy's out here. This guy's out here beating the Undertaker up, putting him down. Like, nah, this ain't right, man. What the heck? You know, but that's you looking at it.
She's seeing there's cat suit and there's giant suit.
This shit looks horrible.
Oh shit, Harry and the Hendersons can wrestle? There you go.
Wow.
Damn.
There goes Bigfoot on the top rope. Here's the angle slam.
Stop. I don't know who else had a really good entrance. I feel like Triple H's were always ones to look forward to.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like the one that lives. I mean, it lives in my head rent free because I love Triple H when I was younger. Like I thought he was like the most iconic thing walking. I mean, The Rock was
Talk
there
about
and
it.
everybody else was there, but I just
Oh,
think
you
that
was the
Triple H is
ops.
iconic. He's that guy. He's that. Huh?
Oh, you the ops. We would
Say
have
again?
had some battles growing up. We would have had brotherly sisterly
Oh
battles
yeah.
growing up
I'm
if you was
sorry.
Team Triple H and I'm Team Rock.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you like Hunter? Ugh.
Did you watch the rivalries
No.
on
Because
A&E?
everybody was on this Stone Cold phase, and I was just like, what's so cool about him? I knew the allure of him, like, okay, somebody who doesn't listen to authority and whatnot. That was cool. And then The Rock was like the most electrifying man, and plus he was rooting for everybody black, so of course I like him. But like something about Triple H, just like he was. I guess it's because I
Was the
have a
color of the
connection. Like
jacket?
I liked rock music then, so I'm always gonna.
Mm.
Yes, that too. But we talking about like even him, the way he came out and he was just like aggressive. He was a bodybuilder, but he wasn't like trying to do all this and do all that and flex. He just came out, turned into something else, spit his water. Like he just something different. I don't
That's
know. I
why
can't
I
describe
really
it.
wish we
So
could have
I
got
remember the
Rock and Triple
first
H
time that was like
older.
a real like.
Like Rock and Triple H at
Say
WrestleMania
again?
32. Like I really wish we could have got that match between them at 32
Yeah,
because just the interests alone on how good it would
I
have been.
know because when he came out with Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like for him to pull the lead singer of Motorhead, mind you, the lead singer of Motorhead I found out that year just had a stroke. He had like a stroke like a year and 2 months before he even got back on that stage. And because he loved Triple H so much, he literally was like, no, fuck it, we're performing. Like, fuck you mean.
Wow.
That's love.
And then literally wasn't supposed to make music anymore, but then they turn around and made King of Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new entrance. So, and then when you look at all his entrances after that, it was all a salute to him. Like he was the target. He was the cerebral assassin. He was the King of Kings. Like the one with him, and now we know that he had Alexa Bliss, Sasha, and Charlotte play like his I want to say the women on his throne. Like he had that, and then like to add layers to it, you have Stephanie. One year just telling people that you should bow down.
Oh yeah, that's
All
another
of you, like especially that entrance before his
like,
match.
why is Stephanie
before
cursing
his
me
match
out? What the fuck? It's like you should bow down in the crate. Like,
I love it.
whoa, okay, Steph, you
I love
got it.
I
mean,
love it.
you look great, but
I love
goddamn,
it.
stop yelling at me.
I loved it.
Yes,
I loved every single freaking setting of it. She
even
was
with
a
the bike.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the next year with the bike.
Oh, I was there for that.
Rhino in the back with him.
Oh, at 34 she had. Didn't they come out?
34,
It was 34.
They did like Sons of Anarchy where they had like a motorcycle gang, and then it was Triple H and Stephanie, because I remember that was a mixed tag match with
and they were the
Ronda
lead,
and Kurt.
and
So they had like the entire motorcycle gang go first, or they behind them,
Right.
and then Triple H and Steph had their own bikes, and they went to the ring,
And you know what's
and
crazy?
then around the ring, and then when they got to the apron, Steph did Hunter's fucking entrance with the water and everything.
Yeah, okay. Now 33 though, they came down on a bike together.
Yeah, probably because that was that humongous ramp. Like I remember you were talking about Cena and his entrances. I was laughing because like, man, I remember that 33. I was hoping he busted his ass down that long.
We talked about the Undertaker. Everybody all night was like, "Yo, what is it gonna be like when Undertaker?" Because like when Goldberg came out, you heard parts of the song you never heard before. Because he
it's like, wait, there's a third verse,
right? You know, so Undertaker, we was all like, "So what they gonna do?" And sure enough, they built. He came in from the middle.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's not walking like this fucking 100-yard dash to the ring.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, oh man.
I'm trying to, because you know what? I don't care. Triple H was that ITGIRL. I don't care what anyone says. Him, The Rock, they were all listening. They were all the mean girls at the table, and they were trying to solve that the rest of you couldn't sit with us. And then they had Batista and Randy Orton and John Cena come and bust their balls every once in a blue while. But they were, I don't know, they were still that. They were that. So when it came to Stone Cold didn't really need nothing too special. Stone Cold just showed up and whooped ass. So the one time that I know is special, especially when it comes to Stone Cold, his post-retirement entries into WrestleMania are more, especially his Hall of Fame one. I know we're going off the topic a little bit, but his Hall of Fame one is the most iconic thing you will ever see in life. Like nobody, and I mean nobody, was gonna expect for Stone Cold to walk across that stage in a fucking suit and tie and Queen's wave to nobody. Hell no. You get yourself a RTV, you ramp that bitch, you run it down the ramps, you make sure they have the ice cold brews waiting for you by the time and bell, people, and you make sure their right arm is good enough to toss that shit to him in the ring because he likes to catch them in thrones. Listen, nobody tops that at all. And best believe he gonna invite somebody in there, give them a cold one, make sure they can take it all in, just so they can have a Stone Cold full belly of beer, so that when he stunner you, all your belly do is jiggle, and when your neck hit the ground, you're like, hey, at least I'm drunk, so I can't feel nothing, and then he go about his business. Nobody but Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mwah. If Hall of Fame run it, he did that. Nobody gonna be able to even top him because it's Stone Cold.
I mean, that entrance is dope. Immediately what comes to mind with Stone Cold entrances is the fucking Zamboni. The man came into the fucking arena in a Zamboni, rammed that shit into the ring, and then jumped Vince's ass, jumped over the security and jumped Vince's ass. I was like,
that was smart. That was smart.
Nothing tops this. A fucking Zamboni.
And the milk truck.
That was smart.
I mean, the beer truck.
And the beer truck.
And then Kurt Angle with the milk truck.
That was funny. And then you had, it was funny because you had Jerry the King going the announcement. I hope that's not spoiled. It smells like it stinks. I said, I'm done with you. You. I said, and then you had people thinking it stink. I'm like, of course. I'm like, it's milk. Jerry, which one?
Speaking of milk trucks, another great WrestleMania entrance that sticks with me. New Day at WrestleMania 32, the fucking cereal box, the Bootios. Cereal. And they knock over the Bootios box, and they're like the prize, and they're dressed up as fucking. Shout out to the dude that just passed. That's like the anime guy.
Yeah.
Because I remember they also came out in Dragon Ball Z attire.
Yeah.
And like all three of them are really heavy into anime.
Yeah.
That's another great, and then they're kicking around the fucking cereal
as
they're walking.
The one that'll get me was when they came out one year. Didn't they come out one year handing out pancakes?
That would have been was that WrestleMania?
Was that WrestleMania or SummerSlam?
It wasn't 33 because Kofi
one year they came out with a platter of pancakes. And they was tossing that shit. They were tossing.
I think that was just a Raw SmackDown, but just the fact that they would do stuff like that.
If that was Mania, that could have been 34. But then again, that was them, Usos, and Bludgeon Brothers, and that was kind of like, we gotta get this match in quick. Because I remember that was like the Usos like, finally we made it to the fucking the main show and not the damn pre-show. But then it's like, yeah, but then all four of you getting your asses whooped by Harper and Rowan. Good luck with that.
They went from not being able to make WrestleMania to finally getting on the pre-show, to main eventing. Yeah, but Bray. We talked about Bray Wyatt earlier. The memorable one too, the Fiend with Alexa Bliss.
Oh,
I think a lot of people, because we tend to forget about that whole match. And Randy Orton had the white shorts on, the special WrestleMania shorts. And I think I was actually watching it the other day. It was probably on like a playlist of like just random WrestleMania matches. And it was just like, watching Alexa Bliss turn her back on him, which was insane. Rest in peace, Bray, because man, you just think about where we was going, with the Mr. Uncle Howdy character and stuff, because he was just so creative and so much attention to detail. You mentioned a lot of his interests earlier, Justin.
I love the stuff he was doing with Alexa. I felt like that was a good use of Alexa because I wasn't the biggest fan of hers, especially with the in-ring stuff. But the character stuff, I give her props. Like she's great on the mic and she's great with character work. So when she paired with Bray, I was like, yo, you got my attention with this. It's just that match just felt like I feel like that's always been the problem with Bray, and I don't know if this is because of Bray, more of Mr. Redacted. By the time we get to Mania, those matches fall flat, and I think a lot of it had to do with because Mr. Redacted always had Bray lose.
Yeah, I agree with you on that note.
Whereas
I
like,
think
we did
that's
all
what it is
this
for me too.
for that, like.
But that's what I'm saying. That was one of the year before that was one of the first matches we really had where you give them these grand entrances and these special effects, and you're like, well, they still lose. So because before it used to be like whoever got the biggest show won, in my opinion. But then you did that and they still lose. So it was kind of like it was cool to see him get that because that was him. It wasn't something that was gimmicked up. He really put his creative into it. And then, like, of course, like you said, Mr. Redacted kind of was just like, man, you're still gonna lose anyway. So just like it will always make me want to step on the neck of production that Rusev literally had the most Russianist of Russian, Mother Russia type entrances for WrestleMania, and he fucking loses to fucking John Cena, who doesn't need a fucking US title win in the first goddamn place. So it was just like, why?
I'm gonna push back on that because
why are we doing that?
That led to one of the greatest title runs in the last decade. That open challenge for the US title with Cena, like Cena leveled the fuck up with that. I'm sorry, like Rusev
for US championship.
Rusev was strong.
That's how we got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like far as being
Cesaro, like this is where Cena's matches became the best matches on the card, and he was doing that on Raw and SmackDown.
And
he was
for
doing
him
open
too.
challenges.
We got to see him go to a new level.
He had to bury. We had to see him bury.
No,
Rusev there was like that in order to get it.
You gotta take one for the team.
He was. You look at. He was on a streak, and I'm not a big fan of winning streaks, but Rusev was on a huge win streak, and you can even like when he went up against Mark Henry, and Mark Henry tapped into the fact that he was an Olympic. He competed. Try to get into the Olympics and stuff, and it was a thing that made you think like, wait a minute, Mark Henry could be the guy. He's going to do this for America. Like Rusev was a heel, so it made sense that if he was going to lose, that it was the John Cena because it was almost like a badge of honor. But the interest was dope.
Man came out in the tank, and then a minute later, like he got to smash his wife in the tank
to lose John fucking Cena.
That would have been dope if that was.
Bro, he got a match with Cena. You know how many people would love to have that?
Right.
Anyway, the interest was cool.
You can make that noise. He said it, not me. He don't want him and his now soon to be ex-wife put that information out there. I didn't even know, like, yo, I didn't even know that y'all were just smashing cheeks in the tank. But thank you for that.
Man, another one, JBL WrestleMania 21.
Speaking of cheeks, JBL.
Well, his interest at WrestleMania 31, he comes out there, with the $100 bills flying all his face, which I'm always. I want to be in an arena one night or a stadium when they're giving out money. I want to see. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's not real, but I want to see. I want to have one of them bills. Shoot, I could sell it on eBay. Well, I wouldn't, but But it was definitely interesting watching him come out there with that. And, you talking about big interests in losing, on his way to put over John Cena as we got the Cena era begins.
Yo, whoever thought of the idea of putting the fucking the cow in his theme song with the moo, thank you. Because every time I hear it, it kills me. It's like, this is the best thing about JBL.
It was like a perfect mixture of that and that Wall Street. Song.
You said a perfect thing of what?
It was a perfect mixture of Southern. It was like Southern Wall Street. He had the bell, ding, 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 like the Wall Street bell. So, and then he had the it sounded like a revamped version of Dallas's theme song or something like that. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, like it was giving Walker, Texas Ranger, and all of a sudden, moo.
That's what it gave.
Yeah. Oh man, Fox News JBL. Oh, shoot! How can we forget? Ice-T and Godfather, WrestleMania 2000
Oh
with the
my God.
Godfather D'Lo Brown. Bro,
Those.
that was the aggression year. The aggression album.
Lord.
Godfather's in the house. Grab your bitch ass. Pimpin' ain't easy, man.
I'm glad I got to meet Godfather. I remember meeting him for the first time. The first day it comes out of my mouth. Where the hoes?
Yo, funny story. Book of Wrestling. We get ready to record Die Rocky Die episode.
Ooh.
So
Really?
yeah, that was the name of the episode. Talking about the evolution of rock. So we got a Godfather one. So you know how if y'all know most of the wrestlers are old, so technology ain't always friendly. So we sitting there. He gets on. Can y'all hear me? And we say, yeah. Can you hear us? Yeah, I only see one big black guy. And then Dave's like comes on camera. He goes, he's like, y'all better be ready, man, because we about to have a good time on here. Can we talk about cannabis? I was like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. All right, cool. And but I'm sitting there like, I don't know. All I see is a big black guy.
Can we talk about cannabis? Can we
I'm
talk
still
about
stuck on the
cannabis
big
after you
black
just
guy.
said all that?
Mhm.
Yeah, like was that part? What?
I know
Damn.
Shoemaker had to be like, what?
Oh, man.
I know.
How do I
He
pivot
looking
out of
at y'all
this?
like y'all put me in. Don't y'all put me in this? Pull me out.
Pause.
But yeah, it was good. It was fun times, man. It was crazy. And then to think the next year they was that right to censor bull crap.
Nah, I love Right to Censor. I'm sorry. They were highly inappropriate for an inappropriate time. It was too funny. It was like, and you were met like
You were really the
they
op.
pulled that Right to
You are the
No,
ops.
it was
No
funny.
one's supposed to like Right
No,
to
we
Right
about
to
Censor.
Censor was funny. You could kick me out of the club all you want. That shit was
No, I
hilarious.
ain't
Right
kick
to
you out of
Censor was
nothing. I'm about to tweet.
You
No,
know what
you
Right
about to
to
live in
Censor
your
was
shame.
made
That's what you
for?
about to do.
Think
Explain
about
yourself.
what they made. Think about when Right to Censor really got the pop off. It was just when they took the F out of WWE, but they still wanted the network still wanted some type of level of censorship. So they literally poked at the bear and they were like, you need to have some type of censorship if you're really gonna stay on the network. But y'all don't remember reading that. I remember reading like old school articles about how like they were really threatening to pull Raw off the network because they were doing so much. And the same thing with SmackDown. At one point, UPN was like, we're going to make it later and this, that, and the third if you don't censor it. So guess what Vince McMahon did? Vince like, oh, I got your censor, all right. Beyond, and created Right to Censor. And Steve Richards will go on record and say, you know what? It didn't make sense to him, but it made sense to him when it happened because it was literally a joke. It was a joke. And it was a heel joke, and he went with it. And then they were like, "Well, who would you think would be perfect for it?" And then they were like, "Well, we can have somebody like that's not really for the grain." And at the same time, Ivory was really not for the whole like diva movement because she was like, "I bust my ass in the ring way too long, and I really need to not be like one of these generic ass bimbos. I'm sorry." So they put her in Right to Censor. That and it was that whole running joke where that part. I'm not gonna say that because Women's History Month, respectfully. But look at what it came out of. She became a women's champion. I don't care what anybody's saying. Then they had who did they had? They had Butte. Didn't they have Butte Buchanan at one
They had
point?
the
Bull
Godfather and
Buchanan.
Bull Buchanan.
They had
Breaking
the
news.
Bo
Hold
Buchanan.
on.
They had the Godfather.
Mercedes is at the Celtics game with an
Fuck the
AEW
Celtics.
Dynamite. They got the AEW Dynamite promo pack bug with her. Well, the
That's
promo
what's
little
up.
third. That's
Say
the
what you
one.
want.
See,
That
Seindole, I hear you, but
that
this
company
doesn't
making
explain
needles.
why you like Right to Censor.
Because it was funny. That's why. It had nothing to do with them being heel and nothing to them. Like even the segments they interrupted the Rock at one point, and he asked Ivory. He was like, "I know." What did he say in his promo? He was like, "I know. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Ivory, do you like pie?" And she was like, "That is offensive." Blah blah blah. Listen, it was funny. I don't care what anyone says. It did what it's supposed to do. It made me laugh because I knew even at my age that it was a straight F middle. It was a FU middle finger to the networks for trying to shut Vince McMahon's whole attitude era down, and it did what the hell it was supposed to do. In the era of ruthless aggression, it did what it was supposed to do. And the fact they got Godfather up on there was
Hold
the
on.
biggest
There was
surprise
the
to everybody
Attitude
because like
Era
he
scandal.
left the hose. I said before the Ruthless Aggression area. My apologies, but they had the Godfather drop off his pimps and hoes and leave him at the corner store for him to join the Right Censor. It was gold. It was funny to me.
It
was funny.
wild
The
time.
only thing I remember
Didn't
of
know
the whole right
nobody-
to censor stuff besides the music is them trying to censor the Dudley Boys. And I think they fake converted Bubba Ray for like a minute. They try to convert Devon, and they turn and
they
then
cut off like a bra.
and then it's like, nah, we ain't fucking with this. And then the Dudley Boys went Dudley Boys. I remember they put Bull Buchanan in like the biggest 3D I've ever seen, where that man was like up there. Like I've never seen Bully Ray jump that high before. It's like holy shit. But really like right to censor. Okay, that's we're gonna have to rethink this friendship.
Speaking of Bubba, I didn't say I liked the gimmick was funny.
Nah,
shut
you like
up,
that
Justin.
Salute to Stevie Richards. That's the man I really remember from Right to
Okay.
Censor.
You know what? Fine. I'll be the op. You're
You
not
the
gonna get me
op.
talking on like a Triple H. I like Triple H.
Nah,
Whatever.
we'll give you Triple H.
You're
I'll
not gonna
give
get
you
me
Right to
talking on
Censor.
like a Triple H.
How about the
I said
what
Right
was
to Censor was funny. I didn't say I like Right to Censor. I said
You
they
know
were
what-
funny.
You know what interest was dope though? I can't
Which
even
one?
lie. Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 12. And what was so cool was they implemented, I'm not sure, one of these SmackDowns.
Is that the zip line?
Yeah, the zip line, and they put it
Ah.
in the game.
Mhm.
And it's like you get ready to go to like WrestleMania, and they say, you know, it's WrestleMania, so you gotta have a really cool entrance. And sure enough, they give you the same one. I thought that was really cool on how they did that. It's always funny hearing that he took a piss up there in the middle of the in the stadium before the match. It's just imagine like him just like peeing on the wall, and you're just hoping like nobody's underneath.
Oh, I thought he said.
Oh,
he
not.
pissed on the way down the zip line. I'd be like, yo, someone got sprinkled on. God damn.
What's crazy is when you hear the announcers talk about how many times they go in themselves during the show.
I feel for them, especially when you think of these manias that go past like 5 hours, and it's like shit. So either you can't drink anything all day, or you're screwed.
Yeah, and Jim Ross and because you think about where they gonna go. It's
Can't
literally
go anywhere.
unless we ain't at the days where it used to be, like you go back to the Ruthless Aggression era when you did the Raw show, you only did the Raw matches or the SmackDown matches, and they alternated.
Yeah, but even when they had like Raw and SmackDown like this recent brand split, they had both of them out there. So it's like
That's what I'm saying.
You're
Yeah.
out there for 6 hours, dude. Tough it out. Or rehydrate after the show. But that's a long time to be like, can't drink anything. But thank you for giving me this Mountain Dew for product placement. Can't drink it.
Oh man.
Yeah, you
WrestleMania.
can't drink it.
So looking ahead, who y'all think we know as reported on WWE Meets Pop Culture with Queen P.R. Bailey is what's the group name?
Paramore.
Paramore. I'm terrible.
Paramore.
But yeah, Bailey is campaigning very, very hard to have Paramore do her entrance.
As she should.
Yeah, who are some entrances that you think will be dope? Last year we saw Dominic Mysterio just come out there, Prison Dom. We saw Rey
Man came out the
Mysterio come
fucking
out,
paddy wagon.
yeah, which was amazing. Prison Dom coming out there with Snoop Dogg. I mean, Prison Dom. Rey Mysterio.
I think Rhea's is going to be pretty special because this would be a year. This is a year of her being a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Between her and Becky are going to have two special entrances. Because the one where she came out with the car was kind of dope. I was like, all right, big time Bex. All right, we see you.
The one with the car, she came out with the fucking Marvel shit.
She came out with the video package.
I was like, yo, they really went Marvel for fucking big time Bex, but then Bianca came out with the HBCU, and I was like, nah, that's it. She got it. She won. End of story.
Just that music, man. Just listening to it, them playing it, just give me chills.
That was a.
I like.
It would be so because Yeah. So since they don't belong to Adam Copeland, who I still don't like to this day right now, I would really like for Alter Bridge to play Judgment Day's theme music.
If you believe,
I'm with that. That shit bangs.
Yes, I think they should do it.
You
I
gotta be at the
think they
gym
should
also
do it.
on the
That
other
shit is a bang. Yo, I listened to the full. I remember when we were
Meet
on
me
the
on the
plane
other
going to
side.
Chicago, and I was like, I never listened to this, but it came up. It came up on my theme. And I was like, yo, this shit is a banger, yo. Low key, I was like, this shit slaps. And he's like, you
I'm so
can,
glad you brought that up.
I was me, Showmaker. I was like, okay.
I was mad that Edge didn't come out to Metalingus at 38, but then when he came out to Dash, I was like, yo, this hits though. Like, I was like, all right, you're forgiven.
Yeah, last week, well, this week on WWE Meets Pop Culture, Queen P.R. talked about Cody Rhodes' music and the amount of streams it received, and that was one of the questions: how many wrestling theme musics you have in your playlist? And she ended up bringing up,
It's Morgan. I'm here to
bringing up, Copeland. I mean, Judgment Day,
because that.
And
I can easily answer this right now. How many songs do I have in a playlist? I have 165 songs currently on one of my it's all WWE, AEW, NXT, a couple New Japans.
Yeah, and it's always fun. I got some WCW stuff on there. Shout out to C Murder for the Wolfpack. It's always fun, like especially when you go into a city, you getting on a plane, and you listening to wrestling themes. Like you're there, like I vividly the night after Raw Brooklyn, the night Seth Rollins got attacked. I remember like constantly having that song on repeat as I was going through LaGuardia. Just because like, it was fresh in my head. But yeah, it's always fun doing that, listening to their themes, I mean, I know the words. I probably know the words better than the Cody Crybabies to Kingdom.
Listening to things is my jam. Like, I'll be honest, when I'm at the gym, especially if it's a lift day, Roman's thing comes on because that sets the tone for like, yeah, you about to go lift weights, you gotta go kick this shit ass, acknowledge me. But that just sets the tone of like, let's fucking go.
I played it last week before I played drums. Usually I'll listen to like the song, but it was like, I ain't played in a year. It's time, and I felt like walking into that service. I was the tribal chief. So yeah, Roman's
That's how
music
I felt about him and Randy. Like Randy's music was pretty cool to see live, but then it made me want to listen to it after because I was like, dang, I didn't realize how like slow rock this song was. It's very slow rock.
He had a band.
He also has Talk to Me. Yeah, Talk to Me. I was like, when the guy started screaming, I was like, oh, so it's not audit. He was like, they talk to me. I was like, oh, you know what?
And you don't think that until like because we're wrestling fans, right? So we may sometimes be desensitized to the fact like, yo, this could be this artist's biggest audience. I remember I was sitting there and I think my uncle said it was like we was watching WrestleMania 30 together, and I was like, man, that's probably the biggest audience he ever played in front of. I was like,
yeah, that's 80,000 plus in that Superdome.
Yeah, and then even like WrestleMania 35, I forgot who had a band, and I remember because my uncle
Ronda got Joan Jett, to do a fucking bad reputation. I was like, thank you.
And my uncle, the one who taught me how to play, who got me heavy into wrestling, the one who taught me how to play drums. And I remember I said, "Yo, would you play at WrestleMania? Like, you imagine that opportunity to play drums at WrestleMania?" He said, "Hell yeah!"
You know what the best one was though? WrestleMania 34, where they got Nita Strauss and they got an entire violin band to do Shinsuke's entrance. Oh my god! When I tell you, watching that in person was just like, I have orgasm because this is just wow. This is fucking fan because he already had the original that was dope. And then he had the violin one with Lee England that is even better. But then now you put Nia Strauss and this guy shit got guitar fucking riffs onto it. But he's got an entire violin and an entire band playing him out.
And
bro, to be there in person was just like, yo, Yo,
That time
this
when he
is
changed the music, I mean, he made it where nobody can understand, so they wouldn't sing along with him.
Right.
that one's a banger too. I don't give a fuck what no, you shouldn't sing along to it. Like, I sure did.
That it was such a heel move, like it was like smart.
But yeah, 34 with him getting the band, that was just like tremendous, dude.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of great like bands playing people out
Mm-hmm.
at WrestleMania.
I think I'm.
What do we think of have somebody playing the guitar for the Nikki? Was it Nikki Hale who played the guitar for Shinsuke the first year? I believe it was her. Her
Well,
his first
34 was
WrestleMania.
34 was his first.
Yeah, so it was Nikki Hale playing that guitar. What do we think about that? I thought that was pretty iconic. As far as like entrances go, and she played a real long like interlude, and then she just dived right into the. I was like,
gave you
yo,
my
and then
opinion.
of course you see him, and he's always doing the. I was like, go ahead, Shinsuke, you in your moment. Go ahead.
That felt like a big time deal.
Yeah.
Coming
I
out
think-
looking like a Twizzler. Go ahead, Shinsuke.
Yeah, this year I definitely feel like we're gonna get feel like we definitely gonna get a big interest from the you can make an argument that the main event for night one, the interest is maybe longer than the match. Because
I think I could honestly say going into this year's WrestleMania, between Cody or Bailey, one of them's gonna get like a band playing them out. I feel very confident in that. And maybe I'm trying to think, because if we get Bobby and the Profits on the card, maybe you get like a Meek Mill appearance the same way you got Uzi Vert doing Usos.
Yeah. Wow. Yo, what if Meek Mills decide to come out and say, "I pray for times like this" before Cody?
If we get Dreams and Nightmares,
If you get Dreams and Nightmare,
up.
you gonna see me pass out like the old lady in church and be like, "Oh Lord!" I said, "No."
I'm gonna feel bad
I
for
said,
whoever's sitting
Lord.
next to me.
I'm
Hold
a
on, man.
pass.
Y'all thought I was finished. You better know the fucking words.
They gonna have to do this to me. They gonna have to be like, "It's okay, it's okay." With my $20 book, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, Lord."
I can see Cody being a hip hop head. I know he like Master P. I heard that like Brother Hugh had did Starcast. He was doing photos for Starcast 2019, and he was talking about it. He's like, "Yo,
he from Atlanta.
Master P.
Yeah, he was walking around saying, "Make him stay on."
He from Atlanta.
Nah.
I know
Atlanta.
Austin Theory. We talked about it in Nashville.
Yeah.
About his love for hip hop. Because I asked him about how he feel about T.I. But yeah, it will be interesting. Cody walking around. He better not. Yo, finish that.
Yeah, because now I'm trying to think of the big matches. Like Rhea could probably get a band too, because her theme's got lyrics to it.
Yeah,
who does
that's
her?
another one.
Huh?
I said, oh no, yeah, you're right. She does have like words inside of her theme.
I could tell you in a second if they're listed here.
Well, I mean, you can make an argument. Like
you can already tell that. You can already tell what Gunther is gonna be like. Remember, he had the podium last year. He had a high top podium at WrestleMania LA, right? So imagine what do you think was gonna top this year? Him walking in as your 648 day reign Intercontinental Champion. Am I right on the date?
So Motionless in White does Rhea Ripley's thing.
How many days has he been Intercontinental Champion?
Who, Gunther?
6 something, right?
It's Rhea at least in the 400s, 500s.
640 plus.
6. Yeah. That's what I said. He's 6 something, 640. He has to be 648 today.
Okay.
So
yeah, he gotta have it.
He gotta have something special. I love me some Luke. He's the ritziest, but that, ladies and gentlemen. No, you skipping the whole part. I don't mind. Oh, your gratitude. I was like, yo, the first time I heard that, remember we were at SummerSlam, Brian, and I was like, wait, guys.
Yeah.
I had to hear it. And the way he, ladies and
he does it really good. It's just that that always fucking takes me out.
For your reign down.
That dude gonna be a star, yo.
Yo, imagine that and him winning the WWE undisputed championship. Imagine that shit.
Next
Can
year's
you
WrestleMania.
imagine? What?
See,
I don't care if it's in the hot pits of hell desert in Vegas. I don't care if they put you in the coldest of cold in Minnesota. Shit, put it somewhere out in Hawaii. I need to see that. I need to see it. I need it. I need it.
That's why
I
Cody
need it.
need to lose so we can get
I care.
Gunther and Roman in Berlin.
Listen,
I care. Don't put that shit in cold ass Minnesota.
Yeah, well,
Vegas, fight back. Bid on this shit, please.
everybody asking Vegas to fight back. I think Vegas kind of know, like, we good. We good.
Vegas
we
is like everyone want to come here. We'll pick and choose when we want to jump
y'all have fun navigating the strip and how far that arena is really far away from the strip. Y'all have fun with that. No, thank you.
I'd rather
Them
that than
Ubers
freezing
is
my
high.
balls off in Minnesota.
Listen, they got underground trains and easy buses. You ain't even gotta worry about all that. But
Minnesota got a dome, so
yeah, and that new Viking Stadium. What, have you seen it?
I have, but again, I would like to go in the summer when the weather's better versus like in April where that shit might be still cold.
Yeah, when I went to Vegas in April, it was hot as balls. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hot.
I went was the beginning of March.
Yeah, like I'm not anti Minneapolis. I'm just like, can we do that for SummerSlam instead of Mania?
Nah, Minneapolis is cheap and fun, and I'm not paying Vegas price and WrestleMania price at the same time. That's just my opinion. I mean, also, if I don't like the place, I ain't going. And
What
me
about
and Vegas,
Cleveland. Shout out to Logan Paul.
Oh, I'll say what I said in the group chat publicly because we have people in the chat watching. I said fuck no to Cleveland. You can miss me with that.
I will make sure everybody has their passport because I'll be in Toronto for Money in the Bank. Thank you very much. I will be there 4th of July weekend because 4th of July weekend in Toronto is pretty lit. And it is NXT Heat Wave. And that shit's been on TV way too long for me to not go see it live. So there's that part. SummerSlam sounds fun. Let's see what happens, how I feel come August. That's where I'm sitting.
I
but
like
my eyeball is on. Huh?
So I like to rack up the cities.
I know, but the fact that Money in the Bank is in Toronto, home of Trish, where I could thank Trish in person, I got to go. I'm sorry. On a 4th of July weekend, where I don't have to go back to work. I'll see y'all there.
Oh yeah, Toronto hands down. Well, in my situation, we got wait and see on Toronto, but I'd rather that over Cleveland any day of the week. Like you said, Brian, it's racking up the cities, but it's also like
people said the same thing about Detroit for SummerSlam, and I had fun in Detroit, so I shouldn't even be mouthing off so much. It wasn't that bad. But you missed me. Like, what the fuck is there to do in Ohio? When I said I was going to Detroit, people gave me like 20 things to do in Detroit. Ain't nobody listening to one damn thing to do in Ohio.
And that's the thing, because I've been to Ohio a couple of times, so I know like ain't really much out there to do. Like Detroit is more appealing to me than Cleveland.
I ain't get enough time to do anything in Detroit. I wanted to see Martin's house, the apartments building. I mean,
that was
the exterior.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Tarika. She knows sports. ESPN. She was telling me, she gave like a whole laundry list. Like, well, make sure you go here, go there. Maybe
know what would have pissed me off? I really wanted to do the trolleys. Well, I really want to do the trolleys where you pedal and you drink, but they were sold out for like 5 straight days.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was literally like not enough time. That's the only thing about the city. So that's how Chicago was, and it was too cold to do anything. It was like Superstore and bad. It was freezing.
Oh yeah, Chicago. I've been to Chicago a couple of times. That's why when you guys said Survivor Series, said absolutely not, because I know how freaking cold it's going to be. No.
But when y'all come to Toronto, we can do so many awesome things. And it's gonna be warm as shit because it's the north and there's no rain for 2 weeks straight. So it's gonna be fun.
I gotta talk to people about Toronto to see if I can get into the country legally.
Oh yeah.
To be determined.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, I would definitely try to do that.
I mean, if you think so, if they have Ohio for Survivor Series, well, if they have Ohio for SummerSlam, where do you think Survivor Series is going to be? Do you think they're going to pull one back up on West Coast? Preferably, who would throw their ball into the ring? I think Seattle would do that.
Survivor Series is easier because that's the only of the big four that they don't do in like the big stadiums. Like Royal Rumble is basically baseball stadiums or football stadiums.
I think they should do it in
Mania and
LA.
SummerSlam are definitely NFL stadiums. So with Survivor Series, since they use the regular arenas, and especially where you have Mania in Philly, you have SummerSlam in Cleveland, you have Money in the Bank in Toronto. They're on our side of the country. I think definitely like a Phoenix might get it. Seattle might get it. That could be a good one for Vegas, especially where you could try to double up for fights with the whole UFC stuff.
Yeah, Survivor Series.
But you also thinking Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I think a major city would get it again. I thought they would give it to Atlanta, but they're putting well, I can't even say that they wouldn't put it in Atlanta because even though Battleground for NXT is in Georgia, I think they'll be perfect in Atlanta, but Atlanta's should be bidding for WrestleMania, but now I'm surprised they haven't.
Right.
I remember I think it was Kaz that asked this question of like if you could. Yeah, oh no, he posed a question for Massman. I asked them about if you could choose WrestleMania destinations for the next 5, where would it be? And definitely Atlanta was on my list for like the next 5 because they've built that new stadium. They've had it for a while and they host a lot of big events. They haven't had a WrestleMania since 27.
Right. And
they've been long overdue for another WrestleMania, especially in that new stadium. That would go big fire.
But then so is Minnesota. Has Minnesota ever had a WrestleMania?
No, but they'd be all right.
Right. But okay, they built that stadium is huge. That stadium is structured to have enough seats, has more seats than SoFi, and it's a closed dome stadium that's in the middle of accessible transportation to everywhere. Those people have miraculously thought about the Super Bowl and they thought out a plan to make this stadium better. I think they deserve a WrestleMania because why not? Like I'm sorry. I remember it raining for the first hour when I was in New York the first year, and we're about to be in Philly, and you can't even guarantee it'll be fucking warm enough in Philly. So by all means, like,
don't you put that evil on us?
Give every city a chance.
Don't you put that evil on us? I've been praying like, yo, give us this great weather today. Listen, what we got today? Give us this
family in Minnesota. Nights. I got family in Minnesota. If y'all want to come and hang, come hang with some African folk. Right. Okay,
that's what you should have said. You should have led with that one.
No,
that's all you needed.
Minnesota
okay, now we're talking.
Whatever. Okay. Well, Vegas is fun too, but I just
except for Lake Minnetonka, what else is there to do in Minneapolis?
Expect for me to not ever go anywhere near this trip in Vegas. That's all I'm saying. But to each his own. WWE, wherever you choose, honey. We're gonna look at them ticket prices. We're gonna figure out a plan. So pick whatever the hell you want. I'm focused on this year's WrestleMania because all I gotta do is drive an hour and a half away.
See, I'm not gonna figure out a plan. I'm gonna figure out a payment plan because the way these ticket prices are going up.
Yo, you know it's crazy, and I hate to talk about it, but so I want to talk about it. What do you guys think about UFC doing WWE entrances? Because it just got clipped on TKO's group Instagram that a UFC fighter just copied the Undertaker's entrance, and then
I like it.
You like it? Because another UFC fighter had did it too. He walked to the stage with the urn and everything. He had like the cat.
I feel like Stylebender's done this already. Yeah, so Stylebender did it. Yeah, kind of doing this.
Yeah,
it's cool. I think. I mean, you gotta get people to care at the end of the day, and that's why I said I don't watch UFC. But when John Bone Jones and Daniel Cormier had their beef, I was locked in just on the simple fact the promos, you know. And we saw Riddle and Seth Rollins kind of like mimic that. But it's like that's the type of stuff I want to see. The drama.
The drama. You're like, I'm here for the drama.
Yeah, shoot.
I'm okay with it. Just don't get knocked out in 15 seconds and you good.
We talk about vignettes and promos. Y'all gonna say I'm the op again, but I actually like the Miz's beginning vignette to his entrance at his WrestleMania when he was champion.
Mm-hmm.
I actually felt like it was a full circle moment for him because I remember when he was talking about trying to become a wrestler, how he was like, that was his main goal. He always wanted to have like the dramatic promo and like the over exaggerated entrance. And he got that. And I was like, that was pretty cool. Like how it went back to like his real world days and him being on TV and stuff like that. And then y'all are just like, who cares about the Miz?
No, I remember because that was a video package as they had Nas Hate Me Now.
Iconic. And
That's
iconic.
I liked it. I was like, listen, the Miz deserved all that. He deserved each and every moment of it. So I enjoyed that. We already talked about Bianca. Is there any other women ones that stuck to you guys?
As we get ready to close out.
Mhm.
I hate the fact that I'm really thinking about it. Obviously WrestleMania 1. Wendy Richter. Just you know, there's semi-main.
Love versus Lapa.
And it's the club, so I'll drop an exclusive here. I'm working with my good brother Cal right now. Y'all know what it's time for. It's mixtape time.
Shout
The
to
women of
algorithm.
WrestleMania.
I love that.
I chose 10 or 11 matches that I feel, deserve a rewatch. Some of them for obviously the matches, but some of them also the stories, the era on why, so I'll put a spoiler out there. I put Sable and Tori on there, and it's a reason for that. So but that's a fan club exclusive that should, I've already submitted that to Cal. We talked about it. So it's just dope having your co-host as the senior editor of theringer.com.
Very nice. Very
Just
nice.
throw that in there.
Because like Cal gets it. So it's always like he's always like full of great ideas and stuff. As we know, Black Wrestling is streaming now as we get ready.
Shout out to the family.
Yeah, y'all can go over there, check them out after y'all get out.
I'm excited about I'm excited about my broken Trick Mellow shirt.
Oh, dang.
I will be rocking that. I will be rocking that standard living. No questions asked about it.
Shout out the Storyline Tees.
Oh, yeah.
Just with some heat. Just dropped some new merch on their website. So shout out the Storyline Tees.
They ship fast. Shout out for them. They ship before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I already got enough merch stuff I'm bringing to Philly, but then I'm looking at some of the stuff from Storyline Tees and Blacksmith. Obviously, For Your Wear. I'm just like,
no.
Mind
you, I said I wasn't going to spend. I wasn't going to spend no more money, and then I went and bought a shirt from Black Wrestling because I got to support the family. And then Roots of Flight just had their sale, so I had. If I'm gonna get a CM Punk hoodie, I'm gonna cop it.
They give you a sponsorship.
Word, and then Chalkline also dropping all their WrestleMania stuff now.
See, I with them because I know everybody gonna be wearing the Chalkline stuff. I usually try to wait to get it afterwards.
Yeah, I want the quality. I'm not gonna lie, the quality for the Roots of Flight stuff is really nice stuff. Yeah. Like even the tank top I wore to Royal Rumble, I was expecting to be hot. It was nice. It was comfortable,
and the weather was great down there.
And the weather was great. So I did buy the hoodie because I was like, I feel like if it's gonna be cold, I might as well wear them. Even though he ain't fighting, I'm still wearing stuff.
Yeah.
But Chalkline, I already got my stuff because I just went through this week where I have stuff stashed that I've had for months that I've never worn. And some of them are still even in like the bags or like the plastics. Mm-hmm. That's like, oh yeah, I can actually fit into this stuff now.
We should probably get into the fashions of WrestleMania.
Hey, that could be reserved for the fashion corner.
Yeah,
but yeah,
wrestling meets pop culture.
But let's get ready to wind down and get out of here. For everybody, thank y'all for joining on this great Thursday night. It was fun. It was fun being here. Queen P.R, we wish you well. We wish you
well, boo.
Well, and great recovery. So glad that she was able to go. Personally, I'm say that.
Yeah, I'd get sick for
I'm so happy she was able to go.
And she was looking fly doing it, as we expect.
Yes.
What do you
10 10 10. 10 I expect 10 10 10.
Just look at her.
Just look at her.
The most beautiful woman in the world.
See, I can't say that.
That's this.
Now
that's my bro. That's my sis
like,
right there.
Yo.
That's my girl right there.
Well, he's saying it from a brotherly standpoint.
You're not gonna get your ass beat completely. We already know it comes from a brotherly place. I don't want people's
elbow from the boyfriend. No, thank
you. But yeah. So, let people know where they can find y'all. I'll go last.
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here live Wednesday nights on Those Wrestling Girls Twitch channel for a TWG fan club. Myself and these three beautiful, amazing, intelligent co-hosts of mine. P, get well soon. You can catch me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces on Black Wrestling's handle for Turnbuckle Talk, aka The Buckle. Myself, Mimi, and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling. You can find me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. We here. We outside, we active. Wrestlemania season is upon us. Salute to these grand entrances. I cannot wait for Philly. Let's go.
I know, right?
You already know who I am. It is your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. You can catch me on here every Wednesday with the three best friends that anybody can have. On TWG Fan Club for your most interesting topics. You can also catch me, of course, every Tuesday on this same network, the TWG network, for Watch What Happens NXT. This last Tuesday, we recapped one of the most entertaining roadblocks that ever occur in NXT history, and a lot happened after that roadblock. So, of course, next week, I'm going to be joined by a very special guest to be recapping all the things going into Stand Deliver. We will also be talking about things of Stand Deliver past, because Stand Deliver has replaced TakeOver in an interesting way, and we want to talk about the impact it's made versus takeovers. And as I promised, I would bring up takeovers. A lot of people have been asking me to do recaps. Don't worry, I got y'all, because I'm also in WrestleMania season mode, and I have a pre-Stand Deliver show planned for you guys, but the guest on that is a surprise as well. So I'm so excited, still working on that, still planning that. And if not, you can always catch me on the new and improved Watch What Happens NXT Instagram channel, where I announce a lot of my opinions and do reels. You can also catch me on all my social media handles at reload.relive on Instagram, reload via film on X, and reload relive on TikTok while it's still here. So
This one.
This one. We stacking them up. We stacking them cards, baby.
All right. You can find me at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Check out Breaking Through Glass Ceilings, brand new episode. I give my opinions on Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Check out the Wrestling
You'll
Realm.
get his ass kicked.
Wow. Check me on the Wrestling Realm every week. Check me on Wednesday Worldwide. Also, if you in Philly, we will be hosting a Ring of Wrestling meet and greet that Friday before SmackDown at Chickies and Pete's. So come on out, buy your boy a drink, and then we'll go watch SmackDown together. Also, Wale Mania, get y'all tickets. Y'all gonna want to make sure you get your tickets.
The lineup is dope.
And you ain't
already
finished yet. So make sure y'all be there. Make sure you follow.
Tease?
Make sure you follow Those Wrestling Girls everywhere. Like I said earlier, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and you know what? You can hit the subscribe too on Twitch. You know, spend a couple $1 a month, something, and check out their Patreon. Make sure you follow Queen P.R at Queen3_PR. Follow Krista B at Miss Krista _B or Miss Krista B
Miss _ KRISTA.
There it is. Thank you, Justin. But until the next time, so long, everybody. The club is officially closed.